Welcome, everyone.
Hey, this is Warren Redlick. I want to talk to you today about Tesla Moats, mountains and walls.
Yeah, I think for non-sporty cars, it's pretty good.
There are certain special things about Tesla that make it hard for competitors to compete, for other companies to make better vehicles or comparable vehicles to what Tesla's making.
So what's the battery pack size?
It's 55 to 83.
One of the popular criticisms from the Tesla Q or FUD community is that Tesla doesn't have any special technology, it doesn't have any special advantages, and these other companies are going to come along and compete.
What's the worst thing gonna happen?
I want to go through why they're wrong. Before I do that, I just want to point out I'm now selling merchandise on my channel. This is the Cybervan shirt, t-shirt.
We have an amazing product to show you tonight.
That I made based on one of my recent videos. This is my prediction of a future Tesla vehicle. You can check out that video here, and you can buy the shirt just below the description of this video.
I think you're going to be blown away.
And let's get into it. What are these 10 Tesla advantages? I want to be clear here. There are moats where it's something that's very, very hard for someone to cross. And there are other kinds of advantages. So although I referred to this as 10 Tesla moats, and to some extent they're all moats, some of the moats are wider and deeper than others. Some of them are really more like mountains you have to climb. Some of them are walls you have to get over or get around. But it's the same idea. These are 10 huge advantages Tesla has that make it very hard for other companies to compete, to produce comparable electric vehicles, and to do other things that would dethrone Tesla. One other point, you'll occasionally see a headline that some other company has a Tesla killer, that there's some new electric vehicle that some other company's making and it's going to defeat Tesla. It's going to be better than Tesla vehicles. And this is false, because even if it's comparable or even better than a Tesla, Tesla vehicles do not steal market share from other EVs. All of Tesla's market share came from ICE, internal combustion engine vehicles. Any other company that comes along and makes a new electric vehicle that's successful is not taking market share from Tesla. They're taking market share from internal combustion engine vehicles, and that's a good thing. So I personally am rooting for Lucid, for example, to be successful. I want Rivian to succeed. I would love it if Volkswagen succeeded with their electric car line. I don't think they're going to, that's a whole other conversation, but I want other EV makers to succeed because EVs are better vehicles. They're better for the environment, they're better for people, they're better in all kinds of ways. But this notion that some other company is going to come along and make an electric vehicle and it's going to take market share from Tesla is false. There is no Tesla killer. There are only ICE killers. So let's root for all EVs. But of course, I'm a Tesla fan. I'm a Tesla fanboy. I'm an Elon Musk fanboy. So let's talk about Tesla's 10 big advantages. Are you ready? Let's go. One of the first and biggest examples of a Tesla moat is battery technology.
It looks like your competitors seem to be struggling to grow battery capacity. So if you can just take us through what you're doing differently.
I mean, we are super deep on cell, super deep, and cell through battery. That rabbit hole goes down pretty far. Man, do we know a lot about batteries.
The only thing that I would add is, we do have a decade plus of experience of not just like what a cell should be, but how to integrate it into the product, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And how to manage the cell and the module and the battery and through different weather conditions and different environmental and different charge regimes, and wow, we really know a lot about batteries. It's next level.
Tesla has the lead in battery energy density, in volumetric density and gravimetric density, energy density by weight and energy density by mass, or gravimetric energy density, and volumetric energy density by volume. Tesla is much better in using the technology to do better. And it's true, there's plenty of other battery companies out there, and other car companies can buy batteries from other companies, but Tesla's NCA, nickel, cobalt, aluminum, battery chemistry is the best one on the market right now. And Tesla is about to reveal on Battery Day its advanced battery pack technology.
Some of the things for Roadster, they're the tri-motor plaid powertrain. We're going to have that in Model S, the plaid powertrain, the more advanced battery pack.
We don't know exactly what that is, but we can expect higher energy density, both volumetric and gravimetric. and that's going to enable Tesla Semi, which requires Tesla Semi requires lower weight batteries with higher energy density in order to be able to carry a substantial load in the trailer. They're limited to 80,000 pounds total. The more the batteries weigh, the less the cargo you can carry. Tesla is about to demonstrate a huge advantage with that on battery type. Most people see that coming. There's also another key detail. There's a lot of other EV makers, companies that are making EVs, or legacy ICE companies that are starting to make EVs. They use one battery technology. Tesla is already using at least 2 and maybe 3 different battery technologies. They use lithium iron phosphate batteries in their Chinese vehicles. They've started doing that, and I expect they're going to start using lithium iron phosphate in energy storage. They use nickel cobalt aluminum in their vehicles currently. They use nickel cobalt aluminum in their grid storage applications in PowerPack, Megapack, and Powerwall, but that's a different chemistry than the chemistry. They use a different variation of nickel cobalt aluminum for grid storage than what they use for the vehicles.
If you've got a 250 mile range pack, you're going to need 4,000 cycles. Very achievable. We already do that with our stationary storage, some of our stationary storage solutions like PowerPack. We're ready to deploy PowerPack with 4,000 cycle life capability.
And then you've got this advanced battery pack technology. We don't know exactly what they're using, but the key point here is that Tesla has 3 different kinds of batteries or more that they're using across different applications, where other companies are struggling to get one to work. The one battery technology that any other company is using isn't as good as any of the battery technologies that Tesla is using. So Tesla has a huge advantage in battery technology. They understand batteries. It's not just the batteries themselves, but how they manage the batteries. So a Tesla vehicle is heading to a charging station, and Tesla can adjust the pack temperature to make it optimal for charging. Tesla's hardware and software for the battery pack manages the battery pack better. It manages temperature better. It manages charge and discharge better. Other companies just simply aren't there. So that's a huge advantage for Tesla that others don't get. Tesla is learning more about how to manage batteries better because they have so many vehicles on the road. They have the advanced software and hardware. They're able to monitor things better, and they're able to see what works more effectively, and that makes their vehicles more efficient at using the battery that they have. Another huge moat that Tesla has, another huge advantage, is manufacturing. Early in Tesla's existence, there was this idea that the other car companies were going to clobber Tesla because they're so much better at manufacturing. And what we've seen is, in fact, Tesla is way better at manufacturing than these other companies. The other companies had an early advantage. They have a lot of experience manufacturing. They have these big factories, but they don't have Tesla's mentality about radically improving manufacturing, making the manufacturing process more efficient and better. The legacy automakers are saddled with these very difficult bureaucracies that make it hard to make changes, where Tesla can make changes on the fly. And we've heard Elon say that the Model Y that will be built in Berlin will basically be completely different than the Model Y that's being built in Fremont right now.
There's a bunch of innovative stuff that we'll be doing here that we'll tell you about in the future. It's not just a copy of the Model Y. It's actually a radical redesign of the core technology of building a car. And some of this, when I do Battery Day later in September, I'll talk about what we're going to be doing here in Berlin, but it'll be the first time that there's going to be a transformation in the core structural design of the vehicle. It's quite a big thing. So it's like I said, both manufacturing, engineering, and design as well.
Because they're able to radically make changes, improve the manufacturing process. Of course, Elon would say the best process is no process. But by improving how they manufacture on an aggressive, highly iterative, changing approach, they're able to reduce the cost of manufacturing faster and faster. Part of it is that an electric vehicle is easier to manufacture. There are fewer parts. You don't have oil filters. You don't have all these other, there's no liquids really, or not very much. You have a motor, electric motor, or 2 electric motors. You've got a battery pack, and you've got the vehicle. Where with an ICE vehicle, there's so many other things that have to go in there to make things work. That makes manufacturing harder. There's also an attention in Tesla to why manufacturing matters. And if you can get the CapEx down, capital expenditure, when you build a factory, when you put all the equipment in the factory, that's all capital. And you have to amortize that expense over all the vehicles that are made. So there's two sides to that. One, by designing better or fewer processes to make your vehicles, by using less equipment, by finding ways of doing things in a less expensive and more efficient way, you reduce the amount of capital it takes to get your factory going. And then you have economies of scale. Because Tesla is producing such a large volume of each model, that's the goal, right? It's not just making 100 different models and selling 10,000 each, but making one model really, really good and selling 1 million of them. You spread that capital expenditure over more vehicles, so the cost of the capital per vehicle is less, which means you can sell the vehicle for less money, delivering more value to the customer. You see the innovation repeatedly. A really big example is this big casting machine that they're using for the Tesla Model Y in Shanghai that will spread. And eventually they're going to be doing this whole frame casting. The current casting machine they're working on is just the rear piece of the Model Y. Sooner or later, they're going to have a machine that does the entire frame or the entire body of the vehicle. That's where they're heading. How can we do this better? How can we make this more efficient? How can we reduce the cost per vehicle so we can deliver these vehicles for less money to more people? And then you have Cybertruck, which is a radically new approach to building a vehicle with this exoskeleton. It eliminates the paint shop. It eliminates stamping and pressing machines. There are estimates that the capital expenditure for a Cybertruck is 14% of the cost of a regular vehicle. If you make 1 million of those vehicles and you only spent 14% as much money on the capital to build it, then you're able to radically lower that cost per vehicle to the consumer again. So this is brilliance, and it's something that other companies so far have not been able to demonstrate. They're so caught up in their legacy model. They have different departments that are pushing for things to be done in different ways. There's pressure from different places to save jobs in this area, where Tesla's like, look, we're going to do this a different way. The jobs will move. People will deal with it. And because they have this, I'm a big believer in founder-run companies. I think Jeff Bezos is great at Amazon. I think Steve Jobs was great at Apple. I think Zuckerberg, despite people don't like him, I think Zuckerberg is the right person to lead Facebook. When you have a founder-run company, they can get things done. They don't have to worry about satisfying the bureaucracies. They just do what needs to be done, and they have enough power that others just have to get out of the way when they say, this is what we're doing. And that's something Tesla can do that other car companies don't have. There's no founder-run car companies anymore at the legacy autos because all the founders are dead. All those companies are too old, and they're run by committee. And committees can't run things the way a founder can run them. Lucid Air has a chance of doing the same thing. Rivian has a chance of doing the same thing because they're founder-run companies. Lucid Air is being run by the guy who a key player in developing the Model S. So if he has a vision, he says, this is what we're doing, he may have the pull at his company to be able to pull it off. The guy who runs Volkswagen, the guy who runs Toyota, the people who are in charge of these other companies, they don't have that kind of pull. The CEO doesn't have that kind of power at those companies. So that's one huge advantage Tesla has, is they have tremendous manufacturing intelligence, and it's their iterative change that they change things quickly. When they see something's wrong and we can do this better, it gets changed because Elon says so. Another huge advantage Tesla has is software. Tesla is really a software company. There's a lot of different ways of looking at Tesla. Is it a car company? Is it an energy company? Is it a battery company? Is it a software company? At its core, Tesla to some extent is a software company, and they just do software better than other car companies. It's not even close, really. Teslas are designed, everything goes through the screen, just like how Apple, Steve Jobs said, make everything go through one button on the iPhone, one external button, and everything's on the screen. Tesla, everything's on that screen that you see in the front of the vehicle, in the front and center. That's where it all happens. That creates ease of use, user experience, UX. The user experience of driving a Tesla is just better than the user experience of driving another vehicle. The software in the vehicle has a variety of features. You've got everything from dog mode and sentry mode, where video games. There's so many different things that you can do with the vehicle that you just can't do with another vehicle. You can watch Netflix in your vehicle. That software advantage is something, yes, other companies can eventually do software better, and it's partly related to vertical integration. Because software is baked into how Tesla operates, they deliver better software overall. Another company typically has to outsource their software to someone else, and that means it doesn't get baked in the same way. We are in a new age. Software is in everything. It permeates the business. Software helps drive the car. Software gives you something to do while you're in the car. Software is used to make the company make the car better, make the manufacturing processes better. To sell the car, there's software on the website that helps sell the vehicles. There's so many different levels of software, and Tesla does it all better than anyone else. Will some do it well at some point? Yeah, they're not there yet. It's at least a major advantage, and it may be another moat that most other companies can't get over because they don't have software baked into their DNA like Tesla does. And ultimately, you want your car to be something you enjoy, and the software in Tesla is fun. I mean, fart mode is stupid, it's silly, but it's fun. Dog mode is just a nice feature that means you can leave your dogs in the car and other people realize, no, the dogs are okay. Sentry mode is more of a security thing, that it makes it so that if somebody vandalizes your car, the car can capture that. There's all these different features, and there's more coming. We don't even know what's coming next. It's one of the great things is they can add features because the software is flexible. It's designed to allow new things to come along, all the different games you can play in the car. So many different things that make it fun, that make it safe, that make it secure, and that make it easy to use. So software is a huge advantage for Tesla. Speaking of software, this is the killer app. Tesla's killer app is Autonomy. Full self-driving is going to become autonomous vehicles that you will not have to pay attention. The car will drive itself. Tesla already has FSD chips in the cars that are capable of full self-driving. Most of us think they're developing a new chipset that will be even better, that will be able to be swapped into the existing vehicles and will be much better than what's already in the car. On top of that, it's the software. I just talked about software. With Elon and Andrej Karpathy leading, they are developing full self-driving software that will allow the vehicle to recognize all these things. There's a new foundational rewrite that is taking place now. It's already in Elon's car. He's driving it. It will be going out to people soon. And that will enable the software to learn faster. What's really going on is Tesla's software is learning how to drive a car better. It's encountering as it drives, as people drive their Teslas over millions and now billions of miles, and they experience different situations, the software sees that and the software has the opportunity to learn from it. This foundational rewrite with 4D labeling is going to enable the software to learn even faster. And then we have Dojo coming next year, a massive computer system that will be able to train the software much, much faster based on video. All this is coming together, and sometime in 2021, probably near the end of 2021, we are going to see Teslas operating with no driver anywhere. They will be full self-driving vehicles that will be able to go anywhere, and the robo-taxi network goes live maybe end of 2021. I think by the end of 2021 somewhere. But in 2022, we're going to start seeing the robo-taxi network go live in more and more places. This will be a massive, massive profit generator for Tesla. It will be a major change in how we all live our lives. And because Tesla has first mover advantage, it will be the first company you think of when you want to ride. Just like Uber has an advantage over Lyft, Tesla is going to have an advantage over anybody else who does robo-taxis, self-driving cars. It's going to have a huge lead. And because they have so many vehicles and so much data and so much better software and hardware optimized to make it learn more effectively, it's going to get better and better and better, and it's going to stretch its lead. So it's already a moat. It's already a small moat now because, of course, it's not full self-driving yet. It's not fully autonomous yet. But it's already the best self-driving software on the market. As it goes, you can pretty much use it anywhere now. But as it's used more, it stretches its lead. Its lead grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're going to see Tesla full self-driving dominating. This is, in my opinion, the biggest moat. When they deliver full self-driving, when they deliver an autonomous vehicle, feature complete, you're able to let it go and you don't have to monitor it anymore. It's the killer app. It's game over. It's going to wipe out everyone else because every Tesla is going to be sold. Every Tesla is going to be in operation, displacing. Every Tesla displaces 5 or more internal combustion engine vehicles. 5 or more vehicles that can't drive themselves because they operate. They have a million miles they have a million mile life, so they can drive 100,000 miles a year and still last 10 years. And every day they'll be able to drive a lot more miles on average than the average car would drive, 5 times as many miles or more. So you're going to see these vehicles taking a lot of people on rides for a lot less money than Uber charges, for a lot cheaper than taxis. It's going to cost less and be easier to ride in a Tesla robotaxi than it will be to own your own car. It's going to be a big adjustment for some of you, but some of us can't wait to not have to worry about owning a car, paying for car insurance, getting oil changes, changing tires. All the hassles that we're used to when you own a car are gone. You press a button on your phone, you walk out the door, and there's a car pulling up ready to take you where you want to go. When you're ready to come home, you press a button, you walk out of the store or restaurant. You don't have to walk through the rain. You don't have to find your car in the parking lot. It pulls up right for you right there. You hop in. The air conditioning's already on or the heat's already on. It's comfortable. This is a game changer for society. It's going to make all our lives better, and it's going to make Tesla the huge dominant leader in this market. It's a monster moat. Tesla has another huge advantage in driving performance. The Tesla Model S Raven is one of the fastest production cars in the world, and Plaid is coming. So right now, the Tesla Model S at less than $100,000 can do 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. It is about one of the fastest cars you can buy, probably the fastest and highest performance vehicle you can buy for under $100,000. It's an amazing vehicle. The Tesla Model 3 performance outperforms comparable vehicles that cost more money. They are really delivering high performance. There's a combination of electric motors allow better and more consistent acceleration, lower center of gravity because the battery pack is so low to the ground. The lower center of gravity allows better handling. Even though it weighs a lot, it still handles well. And what we're going to see coming soon is with the advanced battery pack, we're going to see even better performance because the vehicles are going to be lighter weight. And not far down the road, it's probably another year or more, but we're going to see the Tesla Roadster that's going to blow everything away. In terms of handling and high performance driving, Tesla already has a huge advantage there. And then on top of that, the efficiency, the regular mundane performance that most of us care about. I don't really drive that fast anymore. The mundane performance of being able to go a certain distance, about being able to drive efficiently, they are delivering on that, and they are way ahead of everyone else. And you see this in the range numbers, that the Tesla Model S is over 400 miles of range for the $75,000 version. The Model 3 long range and the Model Y long range, they're already very impressive on range. And I believe we're going to see this extended as the advanced battery pack. The advanced battery pack that's going to be announced at Battery Day, I think is going to be limited to Tesla Semi and to the Plaid versions of Model S and to Roadster, and to the Cybertruck Model X. But over time, as they improve the manufacturing of the advanced battery pack, that will filter down and get into the Model 3 performance. And we're going to see more advanced battery technology and improved efficiencies extend to other vehicles, making them giving those vehicles more range, making those vehicles perform better. So Tesla's already ahead, and again, we see this again and again. Tesla is ahead, and they are extending their lead. They're doing both things. They're doing them really well. They've got the lead and they're stretching the lead. Others are having trouble just catching up to. No one is caught up to where Tesla was in 2012 with the Model S. No one is caught up to that. So you've got to go. First, they got to catch up to the 2012 Model S, and by the time they do, Tesla will be 10 years ahead. And Tesla is innovating and iterating faster than anyone else. So that applies to this issue of performance, the range, to high performance driving. We're going to see all this come together, and it's just another moat that Tesla has that others have to cross, and they've got a long way to go to get there. There's another huge advantage Tesla has compared to the rest of the industry, if we're going to call it car industry, whatever. There's a synergy. Yes, Tesla is making cars, and you can call them an automaker, but they also make battery packs and solar power through Tesla Energy. Add to that, they have synergy between Tesla and the Boring Company. There are projects that the Boring Company is working on that will take advantage of Tesla and give Tesla an advantage there. And of course, Tesla works closely with SpaceX, so we see the Cybertruck steel is essentially the same steel that's being used for SpaceX Starship. When Elon says, hey, we need some SpaceX engineers or Boring Company engineers to help out with some kind of Tesla project, they've got that help available. He can get those people to come over and work on a project. And vice versa, Tesla engineers can go work on a project with SpaceX or with the Boring Company. And that not only helps Tesla when the other companies help Tesla, but it helps Tesla in terms of building the engineering talent within the company, because they're able to go out and do something different and learn from that as well. Maybe even Neuralink, maybe OpenAI. There's a lot of things that Elon has his hands in. He's able to bring talented people in and get them working on whatever the project is, and that makes Tesla stronger. It gives them yet another moat. The supercharging network is another monster advantage Tesla has. Tesla has built a network of in the ballpark of 20,000 superchargers in 2,000 stations around the world, primarily in North America, Asia, and Europe, and it's growing. This supercharger network charges vehicles faster than other charging options. There's more of them. Any other car manufacturer has to figure out where their vehicles are going to charge. They have to make some kind of arrangement with another charging company. They don't typically deploy their own charging networks. There's a lot of advantages to having this charging network for Tesla. It improves relationships with the customers because they have more interaction with Tesla at the charging networks when they're there. Elon has said that the presence of additional charging stations encourages the sale of vehicles. Where Tesla has more charging stations, people are more likely to buy a Tesla. Charging stations and service centers. Tesla is expanding both, and that is giving them an advantage over other companies that are trying to make electric vehicles. This is another moat. It's working for Tesla. Big deal, big impact on how Tesla succeeds in the electric vehicle market and the vehicle market as a whole. Okay, so we're running towards the bottom of the list. I have some catch-all moats, mini moats, that Tesla has big advantages in. They're relatively small, but they still matter quite a bit. A first example is Tesla Mobile Service. When you have a problem with your Ford or your Volkswagen or your Toyota, you have to go to the dealer. For a lot of problems that you might experience with a Tesla, you call and a vehicle comes to you and takes care of the problem. I've heard anywhere from 80 to 90% of service problems are taken care of by Tesla Mobile Service. They come to you. That's a pretty big advantage, and I don't see a lot of other car companies doing that. Over-the-air updates is a pretty big advantage. This is where Tesla comes up with some new improvements on the software for the car, and your car's sitting in the garage one night and you say go ahead, and it downloads an update. In some cases, it's improved braking performance. There are a lot of things about over-the-air updates that make your vehicle better, particularly if you have the full self-driving package. It improves autopilot, it improves navigate on autopilot, and sooner or later that update's going to come where you have the 4D labeling, foundational rewrite, and it's going to be improving faster and faster. And not that far down the road, sometime in 2021, your car will be able to go on full autopilot anywhere, maybe by the end of 2020. You also have online ordering. Sure, you can go through this process with other car companies, but almost always you still have to go into a dealership to take possession of the vehicle and go through the process. With Tesla, you pretty much do everything online. It's simple, it's easy, they've made the software easy. This is a mini moat. Other companies should be able to do something like this. I don't see any particularly difficult step here, but they haven't really done it yet as well as Tesla has. So this is still something of an advantage. Calling this one a moat is probably extreme, but it's still a hurdle that others have to get over to catch up to where Tesla is. So there's two left. The second to last moat is innovation. Tesla is innovating faster than anyone else. They have an innovation culture. They're innovating fast. They're innovating iteratively. The innovation spreads across everything the company does. They innovate in vehicles. A new Model Y that's going to be built in Berlin is going to be radically different than the Model Y that's being built in Fremont now. The factories are improving at rapid speed. They're innovating in how they make factories. The battery innovation is happening. We're going to see more about that on September 22nd. The quality of the driving experience, they're innovating that. Everything. It permeates the entire culture, everything that they do. They don't hesitate to make a change if it's going to make the vehicle better, if it's going to make the factory better, if it's going to make the product better, if it's going to make the service better. They're not afraid to get rid of parts. The best part is no part. They're not afraid to get rid of processes that don't work. The best process is no process. Tesla's innovative approach is putting them way ahead of everyone else. No car company innovates like Tesla. No startup company so far is innovating like Tesla. None of the existing car companies will be able to match Tesla's rapid innovation culture. They're too bureaucratic. They have too many problems, too many legacy constraints that keep them from doing what Tesla is doing. Maybe some of the startups, maybe Lucid, maybe Rivian, maybe someone in China can approach Tesla's rapid innovation culture. The problem is by the time they get there, Tesla is going to be so much further ahead. It's such a long way to catch up. So this is a very big moat. Tesla innovates. So it's funny how things work out sometimes. I just got an email from somebody who's watched previous videos and watched some of the things I say on Twitter. I got this email from someone who works for an automotive supplier who serves a major car company. And he wanted to tell me why Tesla is so much different from how major car companies work. So here's some of his description. I'm going to read right below the camera. First, they send out a request to suppliers based on a fairly advanced design of a vehicle. This happens about 4 years ahead. After 6 months or so, they've pushed down the prices of the commodities and they award the business usually to whichever supplier is the cheapest. Once the suppliers are nominated, they develop the parts further, improve prices, or accommodate design changes. Finally, after 3 prototype phases, the vehicle enters production. By this time, the technology is 4 years old. That production usually lasts for 7 or 8 years. I'm paraphrasing and quoting. I don't want this person to get caught. The person that sent this to me compared it to Tesla's agile approach to design, a closed-loop system, design, production, roadside assist, insurance design. The cars are developed like software, always new iterations. They're continuously improved. Traditional car makers never have state-of-the-art technology in their cars. Some are scrambling to change to EVs, but they will destroy their ICE market in the meantime. Even if by a miracle they manage to get to a level where they can compete on tech with Tesla, they still won't have the battery infrastructure. Tesla has the battery supply chain stitched up. I just wanted to include that bit. It just came in. I literally saw it in the middle of making this video, and I just wanted to include that to show that Tesla really is innovating, and that really is a moat that makes it very, very difficult for other car companies to challenge what Tesla is doing. It's why they're falling so far behind. So the last moat, I think, is the biggest potentially, which is vision. Elon Musk and the Tesla team have a vision for where things are going. It's most obvious when you look at space that Elon has the vision for where Starship is going, but it's much bigger than that. Elon, Zach Kirkhorn, the rest of the Tesla team, they see where this is going before anybody else does. They've seen this robo-taxi vision. They've seen the manufacturing efficiencies, all these things put together. Elon and the team see it. The other car companies just don't have that kind of vision. They're so stuck in their way of doing things and the old way of doing things, they just can't see this radical change that's coming for the future that Elon and the Tesla team see. This is big. This is the biggest thing, because if you don't have the vision, you can't deliver. When you have that vision, you can encounter challenges and you can see, okay, how do we address that challenge within the vision that we have? For a lot of these car companies, they don't have that vision. They just operate within their bureaucratic structure, and they just don't have the flexibility, they don't have the agility, and they don't see it. They just don't see it. They aren't, again, this goes back to being a founder-run company. Elon has a vision for how things are going to go. When you have a founder running a company, they can take that vision and they can execute on it. When you have a pencil pusher, an accountant who's running the company, they don't see it in the same way. It's really important. It helps that Elon's an engineer, that he gets the engineering value there. So that's the 10th moat. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, I think you'll like these other videos. Please subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, down in the bottom, you can purchase merch like this shirt. You can find a link in the description to support my Patreon. Anything you can do is really appreciated. It'll help me do more videos like this. Thanks again for watching.